guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a neutral smoky eye. I work in an office and I don't want anything too dramatic. So I've already put some tape on the outer corners of the eye. So we are going to start with Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC as a base. And we're just going to put that all over the lid up to the brow bone. And I'm going to be using mostly MAC shadows today. I am going to use one by Makeup Geek, but everything else is going to be MAC. Alright, once we've got that done, we're going to go in with Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek. Right here on the big fluffy tapered blending brush, the E35 by Sigma. And I just like to buff that all over the crease, down a little bit into the lid, and up almost to that brow. And you can be really sloppy with this because this is just going to act as a nice transition shade. This is one of my favorite colors. I use it like almost every day. Next we are going to take the blending E25 brush by Sigma. And we're going to go in with Soft Brown by MAC, which is pretty much a staple, should be in anybody's collection, I think. And we're just going to work that right into the crease, kind of in a C shape, and just kind of build that color up. And I just do circular motions, and then I go back in and kind of windshield wiper motions. And I'm just going to that half the corner of the eye, like the middle of the eye. So just that outer corner. Just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension. And when we go in and add that darker color, this is just going to help everything blend and diffuse out. And then I'm going to go back in with that Peach Smoothie and blend again just so there's no harsh lines. Alright, now to add a little bit of smokiness, I'm going to take this 221 brush from MAC. It's a little bit smaller and more tapered, so you can kind of get a little bit more precision out of it. And I'm going to go in with the Print by MAC, which is just like a nice gray. It's not quite as harsh as black. And then I'm just going to kind of tap out the excess. And I'm just going to focus that on that outer V of the eye. Bring it down to the lash line. And then just kind of make that V shape. And this is what that tape is good for, because it's kind of helping give us that line. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. I really like this smoky everyday look without it being too dramatic. And then you just kind of go back and forth and make sure that you're kind of even. You've got that same amount of smokiness on both sides. Then we go back in with that brush that we had the Peach Smoothie on, and we just blend that out just so there's no harsh lines. And then since I'm not going to do any kind of winged liner, I'm going to take my pencil brush in that same color Print, and I'm just going to kind of wing out that lower lash line, or that lash, make my own winged liner, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and then once again, that same peach smoothie brush, just kind of blend everything out. And I'm going to take a flat MAC shader brush, and I'm going to go in with the color Retrospect. It's kind of a shimmery color, a little bit shimmery gold, kind of metallic. It's really pretty. I'm just going to pack that on the lid. Not too much, but enough to give us kind of like a pop of something interesting on the lid. And then wipe that brush off. Use the same brush and go in with one of my favorite colors, Vanilla. And then just put that just a little bit right underneath that brow bone. Okay, once you've got that, we're going to move on to the skin. Take the tape off. You've got that nice edge. And I always take that peach smoothie brush again and just kind of diffuse the edges out a little bit just so it's not quite so harsh. Okay, then I'm going to go in with my Smashbox. I'm going to put that all over the skin. Normally I do my face first and then my eyes, but if I'm working with a dark color, I do that, my eyes first, just in case there's any fallout. I'm going to spritz everything with Smashbox, the primer water. And then my must-have, which is the Best Damn Lip Mask. It's Nicole Guerrero's. I keep one in my beauty room and next to my bed. I am obsessed with this lip gloss, or chapstick, or lip mask, whatever it is. It's amazing. So once I've got that, we can move on to the foundation. I've got my damp beauty blender here. I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way Porcelain. This is the lightest color they make, and it is like almost a little bit too dark for me right now. I just kind of press that into the skin. Like, once I lose the little small amount of tan I have, I'm not going to be able to wear this foundation anymore, which makes me really sad because I really like this foundation. It's beautiful on the skin. I do tend to get oily, so I do have to blot. But I blot with those new Beauty Blender Blotterazzi, I think is what it's called. I keep those in my purse, and I just like touch up around like 1 or 2 o'clock, and it's fine. I don't actually add more powder or anything like that. This gives good coverage, but it still looks like your skin. So it's like your skin but better. I really like it. And then I go back in with a little bit extra where I have the most acne and acne scarring, which is my chin. So I just kind of build the coverage up there and around my... Okay, so once we've got all of that blended out, we're going to move on to concealer. I'm going to take my Naked Skin in Fair Neutral. I love this concealer. It does not crease. It's gorgeous under the eye. And I just kind of do like a triangle motion. And then I do just a little bit on the center of the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, and a little bit on the chin. And then I take my beauty blender and I just press that into the skin. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight to the face. And I really like to press that in. And I bring it up pretty far out. And then like take my beauty blender and just kind of squeeze any excess off. I always keep a towel on my lap. And then I stay looking up and I take my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder and I just press that right over where I put the concealer, just so it will not crease or move throughout the day. Right. And then I go in with my IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation in color Fair. My big Real Techniques powder brush. And I just press that into the skin. And I go down the neck a little bit. Concentrated on my nose and chin area because that's where I have the most acne scarring, and that's where I like the most coverage. Okay, so once you've done that, I'm going to go in with a little bit of a bronzer. I use this Guerlain Terracotta in Claire Blonde. There's plenty of dupes for this. I know this is kind of an expensive product, but I like it because it's got a little bit of like the pink blusher color and then the bronzer as well. So I like to swirl it together and just do a little bit on my cheeks, just to add a little color. And then I go in just the side with the bronzer on like the edge of the brush, and I just do my temples. And just blend it all out. So it just adds a little something. And then for a blush, I want to do something pretty neutral. I find myself reaching for this blush all the time. It's the Tartelette Celebrated. It doesn't look like much on camera, but it's just the perfect everyday kind of color. And I just focus on the apples of my cheeks and then work it back. It's like that perfect blush you can do kind of with any look, and any lipstick will work with it. It's really pretty. And then just a little bit of highlight. I'm going to go in with Becca in Moonstone. Just going to take this Sigma tapered highlight brush. Just do a tiny bit on the high points of the cheek, tip of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. And then I'm going to wipe my big powder brush off and just kind of blend that all together. And finally, I'm going to move on to brows. I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Taupe. I love this pencil. I go through and comb the brows first. And then I start at the bottom and draw in that bottom line. And then go to the top and draw in that top line. Kind of connect them together. And then work my way in. And then I brush through it. And then at the front, I use a really light hand and just kind of draw in brush strokes, like individual hair strokes or hair strands. And then comb through that. There you go. One brow done, one brow not. For that lower lash line and lip, and we'll be done. So I'm going to take Black Ice MAC Pro Longwear eye pencil, and I'm just going to do that in my waterline, just on the outer corner. And then I'm going to do my bottom waterline just on that outer corner, just to give a little bit of definition. Then I'm going to take my pencil brush and I'm going to go back in with that dark color print we used. Very lightly on the brush, tap out the excess. Focus that first bit of color on that outer corner. And then when you hardly have any product left, you can kind of bring it all the way in. Okay, and then I'm going to use that brush that we had the soft brown on. I'm not going to add any more color to it. I'm just going to use that and just go right back underneath where we put that dark print color and blend that out. Just to make it not be quite so harsh. And then my last step is going to be to take the shader crease brush and a little bit of that vanilla color mixed with the rice paper. So vanilla and rice paper mixed. And I'm just going to put that right on that inner corner. Just to give it a little bit of something interesting. Then we'll move on to lips. I'm using the new Pro Longwear and Posy Perfect. I like longwear lips